We think it has to be big and expensive and complicated and hard, and it has to involve a new tech. It doesn't have to do that. Hello and welcome to the Fusionary Health Podcast. It's me, your host, Dr. Shivani Gupta, and today we get to do a solo episode together. Now, when I do solo episodes, sometimes I have a whole PowerPoint and I give you guys a big old lecture. I was going to say y'all because I'm from Texas. I was going to give y'all a big old lecture on the topic. But today, I am not going to do that. We are going to have a conversation about our livers. And that might sound weird, but here's the thing. It is one of those little engine that could organs in our body that we forget about. We think our liver is just going to handle whatever we're going to throw at it, and it's going to do its job, and we're going to be fine. And when we look at the world of functional medicine, biohacking, holistic integrative medicine, everyone for decades has been saying, hey, over here, we must detox, we must support the liver. It is the source of a lot of our complaints, symptoms, and problems. When we look at Western medicine, and I talk to traditional doctors who are DOs, MDs, they look at me like, why do we need to detox? Our body knows how to detox. What is all this detox crap? That's just not true. And so it's interesting, right? Because we have all these different philosophies and beliefs around a topic. But what I find interesting is ancient wisdom, which is what I teach. I teach about Ayurveda. Ayurveda always said, look, you are asking a lot out of your body, and it's your job to be intuitive and understanding of what your body needs in different seasons. We are seasonal beings. We are made of nature. And if we're going to defy nature and live against those rhythms, we're going to have problems. And so today we're going to talk about the liver from a functional medicine perspective and from an Ayurvedic perspective, because this topic is super personal to me right now. I recently learned in the last 2 months that I have mold in my house. I had been getting the message because every time I walked out of my bedroom in the morning, every once in a while I'd smell the smell and think, oh, I think there's a problem somewhere. And then I'd go off and running through my day, get the kids to school, go to the gym, go to work, not think about it again until the next morning. And then I'd be off and running on the same pattern again until finally I was talking to my functional medicine doc. I talk to all these doctors all the time, which is a fun part of my whole job. And I was like, yeah, I need a mold test. Do you have one you like? So I ordered one. I did the test finally, and then I got the results back. And the results came back horrific. It said, you tested positive for all 14 mycotoxins. There's a problem. And I kind of did all this backwards. I had 0 symptoms in my body related to mold. I thought testing my body would be cheaper than testing the house. I thought the house testing must be expensive and all those things. Really should have done it in the other direction and in the other order. So I did do mold testing on my home. I learned that there's all sorts of levels of that, all sorts of different companies that do it. Really find someone you trust who's level-headed. Apparently, there's companies out there who charge a whole ton of money for this. So I was able to test the house, and I learned, yeah, we do have mold. We have mold in the downstairs master of the house. Thankfully, I sleep in the upstairs master. That's not my room. And then secondly, we had it in the laundry room. And I think we all underestimate the mold possibilities in our home, and or when we have leaks, we underestimate how quickly that can turn into black mold. So it's been a whole mold unpacking. You're going to hear some great experts soon on this podcast on mold. I found 2 of them, and I'm excited to learn further from them. I'm still in mold remediation, taking longer than I hoped. But let's get to the topic of today, which is the liver. And here's where those 2 points connect together. Oftentimes, our liver is detoxing and dealing with a burden that's larger than what we think and what we know to be the burden on our body. For example, in modern day times, we have so many different toxins in our lives. I wake up in the morning, brush my teeth. I put on all my skincare, wash my face, skincare, shower, shampoo, conditioner, body wash, makeup, all these things. Going out the door, what are we consuming? How is our tap water? How is our air quality in our home? Is it full of mycotoxins and mold spores? Is it full of chemicals from cleaning agents that someone used to clean your home or you used to clean your home? Is it full of VOCs from your dryer sheets in your dryer? And so really paying attention to the toxic burden is important. Certainly, we can go down rabbit holes on that topic, and I do because I'm really passionate about the non-toxic lifestyle. Thankfully, I have a lot of women around me who are always like, stop freaking out. You're gonna be fine. And they remind me to just calm the heck down. But I also do think that the toxic burden on our bodies is significant, and that's why we're feeling the symptoms of it. And so what are those symptoms of a sluggish liver? Well, some people feel sluggish. They feel fatigued, tired, brain fog, sluggish metabolism, unclear, emotionally weighed down. In Ayurveda, we teach that the liver is not just our most important organ for detoxification, but it's also the seat of something we call Ranjaka Pitta. And so this Pitta is one of the subtypes of Pitta dosha. And if you are a follower of me online, you might have seen me talk about our doshas, our mind-body constitutions. And so when it comes to this subtype, it's important because the liver is not just about bile and processing our bile and helping us with digestion and metabolism. Pitta helps govern metabolism, digestion, transformation in the body, and these things. Ranjaka Pitta is responsible for the coloration of our bile. And it's important because bile is not just about breaking down fats, but it's also a major avenue for eliminating the toxins that are in our body. And it's also efficient at producing and releasing all these crucial different tools that we need for our overall detox processes. So it's interesting. Liver's processing and detoxing. Liver's also helping us process and detox our emotions. It's important that it helps us release these toxins that are oftentimes stored in our fat. And if we don't pause and detox, we're never giving the space for the body to release that accumulation. And that's a really powerful point from Ayurveda that we forget. Whoever wants to detox? Nobody. Detoxing is not fun. It's not easy. It's not a party. Even I myself today said, you should do a detox. And then I thought, I don't have time for low energy this week. That was my own thought process around detoxing. And it explains why there's never a convenient week that I find to detox. But now that I have discovered my mold problem, I'm going to have to do a detox. I know I do. I'm just gearing up for it. When in fact, it could be an easy, kind gift I give to myself and my system. And I'm going to talk to you today about how Ayurveda supports us in gifting ourselves a beautiful detox at the intersection of seasons. Ayurveda says that when winter meets spring, that's a really big intersection of seasons, and where summer meets fall are two big points in the year when we are most supported to detox. In the spring, our body's already going to help our liver detox and flush out and clean out what's in our blood and clean out whatever accumulated over the hibernation season of the winter. And so we're very supported in the spring to all of a sudden release that, let go of whatever's accumulated in the system. And so let's talk for a moment about what that means for us and how Ayurveda can give us so many different tools to help with our liver. And take a moment and reflect for yourself. Have you been feeling this accumulation of anger, irritability, frustration in your life? You might be feeling that way. Have you been feeling like your system is sluggish, your mind is not clear, your energy is not clear? Have you been feeling like your hormones are off? When we are in perimenopause and menopause, it's a multi-decade time period. We oftentimes have these fluctuations in our hormones happening. Is your body clearing estrogen and progesterone well so your body has clear communication and can manage things well? Or are you in a state of estrogen dominance, forming fibroids and cysts and having different issues? This could be because your estrogen receptors have xenoestrogens blocking up those receptors, and your body's not able to function properly and understand what is really happening with your hormones and what it's really clearing. And so Ayurveda gives us an entire toolkit to better manage perimenopause and menopause for ourselves. So there's so much here to talk about. I get really passionate about Ayurveda and its toolkits. But let's talk first about when we do a detox, what those benefits are. And let's talk about it first from a dietary standpoint. So when it comes to our diet, we think of food, especially in the West, as I'm going to eat my high protein diet, or I'm going to eat my high fat diet, or I'm on X, Y, or Z diet. We all have big ranges on that topic. How often are we keeping the liver in mind? We do have a lot of thoughts around brain health, gut health, heart health. How often do you think of your liver health? Not often, right? That's normal. We're not taught to think about our liver. But our liver really loves balance. It really loves when we keep everything in our lives healthy and when we keep things cooler, when we're in a cleansing mode, when we're actually supporting it to do its job. And so the best way that we help prevent ama, or this accumulation of toxins in the system, is when we eat bitter greens. Here's what's funny. Most of us in this day and age want to eat fast food, easy to chew food, food on the go, food that isn't really complicated. When my kids go to restaurants, if they do order meat, they're like, no bones, please. I don't want to fight with that. I don't want to chew all that. I don't want to deal. And how often do we eat things that we don't want to eat? Most of us don't like the taste of bitter foods, and bitter foods are what supports the liver. So some examples of that are kale, dandelion, arugula, things like that. And we vilified kale, right? So there's a lot of foods we vilify, but they are the biggest supporter of the liver. And so these greens help us by supporting our bile flow, which helps us to flush out toxins. And you could add a squeeze of lemon on those greens and further enhance their detoxifying effects, because lemon stimulates the liver and aids in the breakdown of fat. So isn't that an interesting point? When I travel to Italy, what is always the first thing you're served? Salad with a squeeze of lemon and some olive oil. So I always find it interesting when ancient cultures have a rhythm to their food already built in that naturally gives you detoxification support every single day. Indian food is built that way as well. We have certain spices that are in all of our dishes, and those dishes and those spices help to support detox. So think about that and just build a ritual of every day before lunch or dinner, I eat my bitter green salad. Don't even use the word bitter. If I use the word bitter, I wouldn't want to eat it. I eat my arugula and lemon. And if you don't like making salads at home, I'm one of those funny people. I hate making my own salads. And even if I make it, I don't want to eat it. But if I buy a salad that's ready, I will happily chow down on that salad every single day. Funny thing, so I just facilitate my life that way. So there's a restaurant in South Florida called Sicilian Oven. I have eaten there probably 2,000 times. And in the Sicilian Oven salad, they have like their salad. There's onions, there's olives, there's tomatoes. There's like all these different veggies that are so good. I love that salad, but I also love their simple arugula, parmesan, lemon, olive oil salad. It's so good. Am I capable of making that salad? Absolutely. But are they somehow 10 times better? Yeah. So sometimes I just call up, order the salad and drive through, dinner size, get it to my house, and then for 4 days, I'm eating a bit of this yummy salad. So that's my simple tip for you. Find a way to find a salad that you love that has these greens that I just mentioned and eat it pre-lunch or pre-dinner once a day. Simple. That's a simple way to support your liver. Sometimes we have to get out of our heads about how hard a detox is so that we'll do the thing and we'll step into action. I find that half of our health issues come from the mental load of doing the thing. I have a client the other day, we were chatting, and I said, after the mold problem, all I've been doing is testing for everything wrong with my health. Because if I have to do a detox, I want it to be the mother of all detoxes, and I'm just going to get everything done at once. And so I just keep testing, but I haven't done a detox yet. And she sent a message back laughing and said, I'm the same way. I'll keep testing and trying to discover what is the thing. And I really do think that that is just shiny apple syndrome. We're always looking for what's the one thing or the one big tool. Ayurveda always said, It's in the simple daily habits that you will win at your health. It's in the daily simple habits and rhythm that you build, the simple, the inexpensive, the daily consistent effort that helps you win at detoxification, gut health, immunity, inflammation, and everything else. And so I just wanted to plant that seed there where we think it has to be big and expensive and complicated and hard, and it has to involve a new tech. It doesn't have to do that. Ayurveda will show you with a $10 tongue scraper how to detox. Ayurveda will show you with a shot of oil how to detox. Ayurveda will show you with a cup of tea how to detox. It doesn't have to be big and complex, but it does have to be a commitment and some discipline on your side. And so that's where, if you're not feeling like you've got that energy in your life, start with a gentle detox to kind of clear the deck. Get everything clean and cleared out of the way so your mind is more clear, your energy is more clear. And then you'll have built the pathway to do the bigger work that you need to commit to for your health, or truly in any area of your life. I can tell you very honestly, the mold project just derailed my life for a month. And that's ridiculous. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a mom, I have a lot of stuff going on. I should have just started a gentle detox on day one to keep my energy and mind clear. I know I'm going to do a bigger detox at some point. I can gear up and build that team and do it. But the daily gentle would have been enough to give me the energy to do the rest. So just a reminder, I'm a practitioner, but I'm also a person. I'm not perfect. And I like to share that this is not easy, but we each can learn and then apply this intuitively to ourselves. Hi, I'm Dr. Shivani Gupta, and I created Fusionary Formulas because I believe everyone deserves a natural way to support their body's health. If you struggle with joint discomfort or stiffness, our Turmeric Gold delivers powerful curcumin in a form your body can truly absorb. It's science-backed with the highest quality ingredients and designed to support your body's natural inflammatory response. Take the next step in your health and wellness journey today. Visit fusionaryformulas.com and use code FusionaryHealth for 15% off. Fusionary Formulas, ancient wisdom, modern science, maximum impact. And so let's dive into other dietary aspects of how we can help support the liver. Another big one is hydration. I know we talk about hydration. We're told all day, drink your water with your electrolytes. Ayurveda wants us to have warm water or room temp water to help us flush out the toxins and support the liver in its detox efforts. Ice cold water wasn't a thing in Ayurveda. We never recommend ice cold water. We never recommend drinking it pre-meals. We're really particular about that. Ayurvedic teas can also be very supportive for detoxing. I developed one myself called Detox Tea. It has triphala, it has turmeric, ginger, all these things put together to help your metabolism boost. You can also make your own Ayurvedic detox tea. We have one made from, you can make one out of cumin, coriander, and fennel. We call it CCFT. And that helps with digestion and detoxification. And those are pretty inexpensive spices. I own huge jars of them at home. If you're my close friend, come by. You can get a bag of them. But cumin, coriander, fennel. So you can crush a teaspoon of cumin seeds. You can take a teaspoon of those coriander seeds. We crush those monthly in any Indian household to use in our cooking. And then a teaspoon of fennel seeds. Fennel is very cooling. And so you can simmer these spices in about 2 cups of water for 10 minutes, strain it, and then enjoy that tea warm. It's very soothing, it supports digestion, and it's particularly good at balancing pitta, so it's going to support the liver. Now, there are a lot of herbal allies, of course, out of Ayurveda that'll help support the liver. And as you know, my PhD is on turmeric, and I'm obsessed with turmeric and how it can help support us in that process. So when we talk about herbs from Ayurveda, milk thistle is one that's known as a liver herb that helps in Western and in Ayurvedic medicine to help with detoxification and regeneration of our liver cells. We also talk about any cooling herb and how that can significantly enhance our liver function and give us that overall vitality. And so it's about really creating a routine that brings these spices and herbs into your life. One of them is coriander, one of them is fennel. What is another good one? Aloe vera is very cooling to the system. So anytime my system isn't happy, I just have a good shot of aloe vera juice in the morning, and that helps tremendously. There's a brand that I love called George's at Whole Foods that tastes like water. And so that's my favorite one that I use all the time. I even gave a talk recently and brought my jug and was like, all of you, you're above 60. This is the best aloe vera juice for you to take every morning. Let's prevent that constipation and make sure we're going daily. And they kind of laughed. And I was like, well, it's just me being honest. And so when it comes to turmeric, which is obviously my favorite herb on earth, turmeric can be a very powerful ally when it comes to our liver health. We know that it's hepatoprotective. It's protective and supportive of liver health. We know that it helps reduce inflammation. We know that when we're talking about the liver, we want to help get things moving. And we know that turmeric will do that in the system. We also know that turmeric it's so supportive of bile production. It's supportive of our gut microbiome. We know it helps get rid of things that don't belong in the body. And so when we use turmeric, we can use it as an additional support for liver detoxification. But the thing is, so many people use turmeric in the wrong way. So many people are taking turmeric and making shots out of it. That's great, but you're not getting the high dose of curcumin and curcuminoids out of the turmeric that'll really do the heavy lift there. You want to make sure you're getting a curcumin extract that's so potent, it's going to drive a significant result when it comes to your health. That's not going to come from regular turmeric powder. That's because out of regular turmeric powder, only 3 to 5% of that is the curcuminoids. And out of those curcuminoids, curcumin is the most effective at reducing inflammation. So you would have to eat 30 shots or 20 shots of a turmeric shot to get what's in one capsule of a curcumin supplement. Now, I know some of us have supplement fatigue. We're sick of taking 20 pills a day. I get that because I have a whole drawer of the vitamins I'm supposed to take daily. But according to the research and the science, turmeric, the one supplement, can do 18 things for you. And it can help support our bodies when it comes to liver detox, health support, gut support, and that overall systemic inflammation that's getting in the way of all of our body's natural processes. And so that's why I believe taking a turmeric supplement is the way to go when it comes to winning at our health. And it's the easiest way to get that very high dose in consistently. So turmeric is my number one favorite by a long shot for when it comes to so many different issues in the system. When it comes to ama, I want to take a moment and explain that really quickly. Ama is what we call this residue that forms in the body due to lack of digestive enzymes, a weak and sluggish digestive system, and or us not processing our emotions well. And so it's so important to understand that if you are going through life and in this moment you're really irritable and frustrated and angry a lot, why? What is the accumulation in you that's happening? Is it digestion related? We know that there's a gut-brain axis. We know that gut is talking to brain, brain is talking to gut. We know that our microbes are causing cravings, thoughts, there's psychobiotics, there's a lot of things happening when it comes to the gut microbiome where it's causing the reactions that we have. It can impact so many aspects of our lives. And so ama, imagine this like residue, almost like a slime in our system that isn't detoxing properly, but instead is accumulating due to lack of sleep, lack of movement, lack of moving the lymph system, and a sluggish liver. And thus, the whole system is slowing down. Unfortunately, in modern day times, we're not taught how to move our lymphatic system. We're not taught that we need to sleep like that is our primary job and invest in excellent sleep as our opportunity to detox. We're not taught that there's 500 to 1 million different things that are going to burden the liver. And our job is to pause at the intersection of every single season and do a detox. And so that's really just an understanding that I want to share so you understand the importance of supporting the liver, not just at detox moments, but as part of your daily rhythm that helps support overall liver health. So when it comes to ama, we have something in Ayurveda called, we have Panchakarma for detox, but we have something called Dinacharya. Dinacharya is the daily self-care rituals rhythm that you can build into your daily life as a way to support liver detox gently on a daily basis. This is a body, right? And if we're going to ask the body to detox, the body doesn't want you to what is a good analogy for that? The body doesn't want you to go to a CrossFit and beat the I don't want to cuss on podcast in case you have children in the car. Beat the crap out of you. I drive a lot in my car and listen to podcasts. So if your body is going to embark on something like a phase 1 and phase 2 detox to help clear and clean things out, it has to be a gentle process. It can't be a go do this at 200 miles an hour, lifting 100 pounds over your head kind of mentality. It has to be an easing in, because we're asking for release. We're not asking for muscle building with creatine and protein, right? It's a different mentality. And when we talk about phase 1, phase 2 liver detox, I'm actually in a whole clinical program around metabolomics and all these topics. So it's interesting to kind of fuse the Ayurveda with the modern science piece. When it comes to our phase 1 detox, in this phase, the liver is going to use enzymes to convert our fat-soluble toxins, including those that are used by our hormones, into these less harmful substances. So our body's going to take enzymes to convert toxins into less harmful substances. But this phase sometimes results in intermediate products that can be more reactive and potentially damaging to us if they're not handled by a phase 2 liver detox. And this becomes problematic because there's so many toxins that mimic our hormones and mimic other things in the body, plastic, microplastics, and the body is so confused about what am I supposed to detox and how am I supposed to detox that? When the body doesn't know how to detox something, it just doesn't know what to attach to it to bind and get it out. Guess what the body does? It puts it in some fat and stores it in our fat cells and says, I'm putting that away. I don't know what to do with that right now. I don't know how to get it out, but I'll just store it over there. And what happens in America? People who show up from all over the world come to America and all of a sudden they start expanding. They get puffy. We call it puffy. It's inflammation. They're cellulite. I'm a culprit of this. I don't have a perfect lean body. Our body finds places to store things and we're like, why is that accumulation happening down there? What's going on? Detoxing seasonally or really any time of year will help with clearing that out. So we talked about phase 1 detox, then there's phase 2 detox. And in phase 2, those intermediaries are converted into water-soluble forms, making them easier for our body to eliminate them through urine or feces, just eliminate through our processes, right? And that phase is crucial for removing those old hormones that, if they accumulate, could lead to symptoms such as hot flashes, mood swings, and other menopausal symptoms. So here's the thing. If our liver is being sluggish, it leads to this accumulation of hormones that can exacerbate our menopausal symptoms or any symptoms in the body. And here's another example. If estrogen isn't properly broken down, it can lead to what's known as estrogen dominance, which contributes to several symptoms of menopause and perimenopause. It increases our risk of breast and uterine cancer, causes mood swings, weight gain, and heavier periods. If you're listening to this and you're like, wow, Shivani, thanks. You just listed half my life. Welcome to the program. It's 90% of us in America, isn't it? Do you know one woman around you who's like, yeah, I'm normal. I'm great. I'm actually that annoying girl in my circle of friends. I'm like, my period's normal. It's 3 days. I don't have PMS. I have no problems. It's totally normal. Now, do I have my own issues? Yes, I have estrogen dominance. And I know that because my body likes to form fibroids. That's my one problem that I do form. But overall, perimenopause isn't a big deal to me other than gut brain. I see like gut inflammation. I see brain issues where it's like, oh, my brain's not as clear and focused as before. It's not all cylinders like I want it to be. So I do the work for that. So we need to just all look at what part of this equation is bothering us the most. But what I love is Ayurveda would always say to all of us, stop and detox and support the liver. And then see once you clear the deck what happens. And so when it comes to supporting our liver detox naturally, here are some key ways. We talked about food, right? Food is always the number one approach. Always, to anything we want to accomplish. Why? Because it's the building blocks of our body. Everything you put into your body as a food is either a poison or it's a nectar. It's a gift. It's nutrition. It's a building block. It's what your body needs and craves to do what it needs to do. And Ayurveda shows us how to eat in a way that supports beautiful digestion, beautiful daily detoxification, and give us the building blocks we need for great, vibrant health. So number one is a nutrient-rich diet. So you can focus on foods that are higher in antioxidants. You can focus on foods that have more fiber. That's going to help things move through the microbiome and clean and clear. So any cruciferous vegetables would be good. Broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. These different foods have the compounds that support both phases of liver detox and help in the regulation of hormones. So think about it. On a weekly basis, are you eating broccoli, cauliflower, or Brussels sprouts? Are you eating your bitter greens that I mentioned earlier? Are you eating your kale? Are you eating your arugula? If not, start there. It's easy. Buy a bag of arugula for $5, $4, whatever it is right now in this moment of beautiful inflation, and eat that 2 to 3 days a week. I like starting simple. Honestly, it's easier for my brain if I start with big health challenges and big health commitments in small bite-sized ways. So that would be your number one. Number two, herbs. Ayurveda, as part of food, thinks of spices and herbs as superfoods that are so potent and powerful and pack that punch of what we're asking for from our food. We know that so much of our food is lacking the vitamins and minerals that we need. Unfortunately, it's depleted. And so when I say eat arugula, if you're going to buy arugula that was grown in, I don't want to say anything bad about my country. I'm from America. Let's say it was grown on a factory farm here in the West, because we live here, and it was grown on depleted soil. And so it has 5% of the total nutrition of arugula in Europe, where they have different rules and standards that are actually beneficial to human beings. You might not get what you want out of your arugula, your spinach, your eggs, name a food. And I think about that a lot. I'm pretty obsessed with food quality. So the more local and the more organic and the better you can source, the better off you are. And or add in the superfoods, because the superfoods have that much bigger of a concentration of antioxidants, anti-inflammatory benefit, etc. So when it comes to those herbs, you can use dandelion, which you can also eat. You can also incorporate turmeric and ginger into your life. These are powerful anti-inflammatories. As I explained, I'm the biggest fan of taking a turmeric supplement to support yourself on your detox plan. So that's another way to support your liver health, is to take a potent turmeric supplement. Next up, regular exercise. Are you exercising regularly? Are you moving your body? The lymphatic system cannot move on its own. It needs our help. It needs us to step in there. And so Ayurveda said walking daily in nature is one of your greatest gifts you can give to yourself, and it's going to help support moving our system. Bouncing on a trampoline, another great way. Deep breaths. When you're driving, just stop and take a couple deep breaths. That's also going to help support the lymph. Then there's using yoga, Pilates, movement. Yoga is another powerful detox support. If you're not willing to yoga, walk, exercise, move, get that system moving. Then we talk about hydration. Using water to aid in the flushing out of toxins through our kidneys also helps support the liver's efforts when it comes to detoxification. So have that water with a sprinkling of Celtic sea salt, with your electrolyte of choice, with a squeeze of lemon. The lemon will help in detoxing. Do hot water with lemon first thing in the morning. Great way to kick off detoxing in the system. That's an Ayurvedic trick that we've had for thousands of years. You can even do ginger lemon tea in the morning, another great one. But all of these things add up to help us on our path to liver detoxing. So I hope this was helpful today. I want to check my outline and make sure I covered everything. In summary, liver is important. Ayurveda has a big toolkit when it comes to liver detoxification. When we pause to detox at those intersections of seasons, we are actually detoxing the different toxins that have accumulated in our fat cells. So part of a liver detox is really a fat flush out of the system. But Ayurveda teaches us this is not just a fat cleanse detox to lose weight. Yes, we are going to release fat to get the toxins out of the system, but we're also going to get accumulation of emotions and different residues in our system that don't belong. And that's as important as the fat flush or the toxin residue release, is releasing that accumulation of emotions in us that we need to release. Then Ayurveda teaches us perimenopause, menopause, hormone balance is all tied to liver health. So if you're struggling with symptoms around perimenopause and menopause, do an Ayurvedic detox to release the excess accumulation in your system and all of a sudden clean and clear the deck. So now your body has the opportunity to deal with the new hormonal shift that it's dealing with. But estrogen, progesterone, all these things need support when it comes to detoxing the excess so that we can achieve our best hormone balance. Then when it comes to our dietary wisdom, bitters are your friend. Greens and cruciferous vegetables are your friends. Reaching into the herbal toolkit from Ayurveda for all the cooling herbs can be a very powerful support for you. We talked about dandelion. There's also coriander, aloe vera, all those cooling herbs. Then turmeric has a very powerful role in detoxing. Here's a fun fact about turmeric, because my brain always goes through like my big turmeric like topics. Turmeric is the ultimate janitor. In our body, when we have accumulations of cells that don't belong, cells that don't have cell death and don't just go when they're supposed to go, turmeric is this ultimate janitor who gets in there and cleans house. Literally says, you need to go. You are garbage. You need to go. You don't belong here. And I love that about turmeric. I'm one of those people. I need an immune support on board that's going to fight for me. I need a gut support that's going to help me fight for my health. And turmeric can do that when we take it in the right form, in the right potency, with the black pepper for absorption. So take your turmeric and let it do its job at cleaning and clearing what we need to clear out on a daily basis. Turmeric's my favorite thing on earth because it's just so profound. The way it works, the way it goes in and does the way it goes in and in an adaptogenic way, turmeric helps to reduce all the inflammation, helps us with our oxidation, helps us with the accumulations, helps clean out what doesn't belong. It's a longevity support. It's just everything. I think if you guys have heard my turmeric episode, you know I'm crazy about turmeric, but suffice it to say, it helps with detox. Then I talked about panchakarma, the power of doing twice a year. You can even do it 4 times a year, but doing profound liver detoxes and seasonal detoxes to clear the deck and clear the accumulations. I know detoxing doesn't sound fun. Even I don't love to detox. I love to detox if I go and check into some epic center and they do everything to you. And I have done that many times in my life. I've gone to India, stayed for 3 weeks. It's like daily Ayurvedic massages. 2 Abhyang massage people are like working on you and mobilizing the toxins out of your fat. The diet is like a juice fast, and they're giving you the right teas and the right juices at the right times. So basically, if I'm fully enabled and someone's giving me everything for the detox, I'm happy to sit in a beautiful natural place and hydrate and do it. Doing detoxing at home, I find way harder. Why? Because I'm surrounded by my kids' food, the food I'm having that I'm cooking for the family, the eating out. Like it feels way harder. Is it doable though? Yes. It's just a commitment. It's just, hey, I'm blocking that week on my calendar. This will be my workout plan, my yoga plan, my walking plan. This will be my diet that I'm going to commit to. These are the foods I'm going to add in. These are all the foods on my elimination diet I'm going to take out. I'm going to find someone to go to 3 times that week to do Ayurvedic massage and push the things out of me that I need to. I will hydrate. So really it's about writing a beautiful plan for yourself and executing it. And I do that in my 6-week program. When I work with clients, we do that detox together, which has always been so fun to do together in community, because then we're supporting each other. Then I talked about Dinacharya today, the daily self-care rituals and rhythms we can use for detox. And I mentioned tongue scraping, oil pulling would be part of that. Daily Abhyang massage to yourself could be part of that. I love teaching about the daily simple ways we can clean and clear. Hot lemon water first thing in the morning is another great daily support for detox. So here's the thing. If we build a daily routine that's phenomenal, then we're not going to have these huge accumulations. And then we don't need to do the bigger detoxes. When we do them, it'll be a light oil change as opposed to an overhaul. If we would just maintain things well on a daily basis, our job is that much easier. The body can function that much better on a daily basis and not have these struggles. I was talking, like I mentioned, to this client of mine recently, and we talked about how when it comes to detoxing, it's such a commitment of the mind. And I truly think that that's the hardest part. It's the mindset around why you're going to do it, because it's almost a little bit torturing, right? When I talk about a liver detox, I'm not saying, hey, let's go to Mexico and have nachos and margaritas and have fun. I'm saying, I'm going to take away from you all the comfort foods, alcohol, sugar, gluten. I'm going to cut those inflammatory foods out of your life. So you have to go find a different way to eat for this detox. I'm going to ask you to slow down your life, probably going to diminish brain capacity and energy a bit. So you have to already make space for that in your life when you might have a fully committed life of things going on. And so I think that's why it's so important to look at your calendar and find like what week or 2 or 3, if you're willing, you're going to pause and you're going to make space. And I think it's so important to find what is your motivation and reason to do it. Like what is important enough to you to do this detox, this cleaning and clearing? It's almost like when you spring clean, right? It's because your house got so stuffed full of things, you finally got frustrated and you had to do it. But we spring clean our homes, we spring clean our offices, we clean our cars. How often do you clean your body and support your own detox of your own internal self? For me, I'm one of those people where if I know the punishment, I'll do it. And in my case right now, in my life, I know that if I don't clean and clear the decks, perimenopause will be, and hormone health will always be something I'm working on. I'd rather it become easier. I know for a fact that mold can travel through the body, through the gut, into the brain. I definitely don't want the punishments of mold in my system or my children's system. I also know that as an entrepreneur, I really love feeling energized, excited, and on top of my game. I have seasons where I'm just like on fire, full speed, full throttle. That feeling only comes when my health is in alignment. And when things get thrown off alignment, all of a sudden it's like my workouts are off track. When workouts get off track, mood gets off track, energy gets off track, sleep gets off track. It's like this cascade effect until I'm like, what is happening with you? What is wrong here? Get yourself back on track. I think we forget that sometimes the body is sluggish because it has a burden that we just don't see or realize. And that's where Ayurveda says, hey, I taught you a great rhythm. I taught you great daily habits. I taught you great seasonal habits. I taught you sleep was the key to all detoxing. No worries. Just step back onto the path. And as you step onto that path again, I've got you. You're going to start to see the shift, the change in your energy body, your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body. You're going to bring body, mind, and spirit into alignment yourself through this Ayurvedic preventive lifestyle, through this teaching, through this wisdom. And that to me is such a gift. This is a free wisdom. It just exists. I get to be one of its teachers, one of the carriers of this wisdom who gets to share it with you. There are so many, and there will be many more over the millennia. And so I hope this episode today helped you. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it insightful. If you're on YouTube, please comment with your questions. I get those comments and respond. If you're on Spotify, Apple, all those amazing platforms that share podcasts, please make sure to share this with someone in your life who needs to hear it. Please comment, please give us a review. That's what helps me get this wisdom, this ancient system of understanding out into the world. It's my dream that every single person on earth knows what Ayurveda is, learns its tools, and applies them. That's it. That's my whole mission. And so this piece of the topic, liver and liver health and detoxification, I know it's not the most fun topic, but it's an important one. And so I hope you listened till the end today. I hope you benefited from this episode. To learn more about me, what I teach, my free guides, my free 7-day inflammation challenge, and all those things, please visit my website, shivanigupta.com. And you'll learn more about all those different things that I offer and this podcast as well. I hope you all have such a beautiful day today. Take care of that liver for me. Do something good for it. Maybe it's as simple as an arugula salad and taking your turmeric. So stay well, everyone, and I will see you next week on the podcast. Thanks for joining me for this episode. Check out our sponsor, Fusionary Formulas, the potent turmeric supplement used by doctors around the U.S. for patients with pain and inflammation. www.fusionaryformulas.com. I'm your host, Dr. Shivani Gupta. For more, visit shivanigupta.com. Subscribe to this podcast in Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Click the follow button or subscribe in any of the apps that you use. That's all I've got for you on the Fusionary Health podcast this week. You have the power to transform your health and achieve vibrant health starting today.